Shalom, family. So let's talk the talk of the town right now, the attempted Trump assassination that went down. So you've all watched the videos, you've seen it online on Messenger, on YouTube, on all the different boards and channels and things like that. But let me just give you my 10 cents and looking at the information that has been given to us, because there's obviously a lot of information that hasn't been given to us, which is normal in situations like this. So to start with, it is interesting that a lot of people have been predicting this for a long time. Many watchmen, many watchwomen, many pastors, many normal secular people and leaders. Tucker Carlson did a piece 6 months ago detailing how they've tried absolutely everything to hamstring Trump and get him out of the race, all the way to criminal charges. And every time they did this, his numbers just went up and they kept rising and rising to the point that he has a problem. And then apparently there's a Biden tweet to his donors that's now deleted where he said it's time to put him in the bullseye. And now suddenly, just 5 days later, there's an assassination attempt. So that's interesting. The Democrats are stressing and running around a little bit in the aftermath of this thing. Then there's stories about the fact that many people in the crowd saw the shooter on the roof. Now, why those roofs weren't checked in the first place, when you look at an aerial photo of the area, just boggles my brain for the Secret Service not to have done that. And for people in the crowd to be pointing out the shooter, moving into position and having a rifle and alerting the police and the Secret Service, and they just did nothing and still let Trump go on stage, tells me there was a lot of planning that went into this. So either they were planning and hoping that he gets killed, or they were planning perfectly that he wouldn't get killed, and it would be the perfect setup for the next big thing. So there's two ways to look at that. Still planned, either way. After the shots fired, Trump is still lifting his fist in the air saying, "Fight, fight, fight." Powerful imagery. And when they're whisking him away as well into his motorcade, he's also still showing fist in the air. He's immediately sent out a message of condolences to the person who was killed in his rally. I'm hoping they're going to compensate that poor man's family and the others that were wounded. So our prayers go out to these people that were caught in this crossfire. The thing I see here immediately, especially when I look at the photos that they're releasing of the post-assassination attempt and the assassination attempt, is the pictures of Trump, blood on the face, the American flag moving just right behind him, everything. These are powerful, visceral images that pull at the heartstrings and unite people. So if anything, if this wasn't a setup for exactly this reason, then they've shot at Trump but hit Biden, because Biden's going to take the knock here in voters. A lot of Democrats have already said they're voting Trump this time. A lot of people that were anti-Trump last time said they're voting Trump this time. And with these images of him with blood in his face and still saying victory and chanting with the people, he's showing a power and a determination that they haven't seen for a while in Sleepy Joe. And those images are going to rally even more. So you'll see in the next day his poll numbers jump again. And they're obviously going to just see this rise going to the election. They've basically, if we make it to the election, in my opinion, they've handed him the election with this whole assassination attempt. Again, if it is that, you've got to look at it from those angles, because there's so much evil planning and twisted psyops and things happening in the background that we don't realize till after the fact. So we have to look at it and think this could be a setup, either by the left or the right or the New World Order. There's so many things that play into this kind of event. So yeah, that's the Trump situation. I really think, and he's fine and he's well, it's nicked his ear and he's okay. I think he's been handed a big win on this whole thing. And I think the investigation into why the Secret Service and the police didn't react to the people reporting the shooter on the roof, that's probably going to come to naught. The same way that the investigation into October 7 and why the IDF seemed to be sleeping at the post at that point has still not come to anything. These kind of things are tricky and sensitive to talk about. So it's happening in the background, but in the forefront where we're looking and seeing and listening, we probably won't get answers on that. So really interesting that this thing that everybody's been seeing and talking about for so long has now happened. And it's going to be really interesting to watch in the days ahead what happens next and how the Democrats scramble. Are they immediately going to replace Biden now? Because that would be the best way to draw attention away from this attempted assassination attempt. Field your next strong candidate, switch out Biden, try and recoup America's attention back to the Democratic Party. I would think that's how they would play it if they had two brain cells to string together at this stage. So keep an eye on it. Pray for everybody that God will just be in control, that the Lord will move in people's lives, because that is ultimately our number one focus as ambassadors of Jesus Christ in these last minutes. And events like this show you how close you are as well. Whether contrived, planned, or organized, orchestrated, or actual event, shows you how close we are to exiting this absolute crazy world, and how short our time is, and why you need to be putting your energy, your time, your resources, everything into sharing the gospel, spreading the gospel, supporting the ministry that's spreading the gospel, getting out there and getting our hands dirty, because we could be leaving shortly before the next big thing. At the same time as this whole Trump assassination attempt gone down and everything's gone viral and the whole internet's focused just on that, they've hit Damascus twice. Twice, people. Isaiah 17 is at the door. Twice they've hit Damascus. It takes one missile to hit the wrong depot underground, because these people all dig like rats and store munitions and hit that, and that all goes off. And that's Damascus reduced to rubble. You don't even need a nuclear weapon. So every time they strike Damascus, you can hold your breath and wonder, is this the one? Is this the one? Is this the one that's going to do it? And even besides that, if you go and Google Damascus now and you look at the damage already caused, in my opinion, Damascus is already a ruinous heap. But it is going to be even worse with the fulfillment of the Isaiah 17 prophecy. So again, all these things point to the very nearness of that trumpet call of Jesus Christ to come and fetch his bride and take us home. Don't dismay, don't despair. Keep looking up, keep praying for people, keep making a difference where you are, because that is the most important thing right now. Nothing else. Shalom.